Alright guys, after a few weeks off, I'm back. I'll talk more about my time off at the end of the video, but in the meantime, I gotta say, I'm really enjoying Battlefield 6's second update of the season. At the time of recording, I'm nearing Diamond and Ranked, just wrapped up the Battle Pass, and I'm mostly enjoying Cairo Bazaar, though every one of these major updates has had some real issues. New updates like visibility improvements are very much welcomed, and some of RedSec's issues have been resolved, at least partially. Overall, before I dive into the details, Season 3 in general is a very welcome sight in terms of content. I've been putting in way more time than Season 1 or 2, and with Ranked, monthly new content, and a faster paced season, the game feels much more alive and purposeful, which has resulted in a leveling off of concurrent players hovering around peaks of 60,000 a day on Steam, keeping it comfortably around the 35th most played game in the world. However, DICE seems to be in a move fast and break things mindset, with Season 3 really showing the cracks in the game's foundation. Latency, 3D spotting, hit reg, back and forth on weapon balance, and a clumsy ranking system are all symptoms of a dev team that even after all this time and money are still using the guise of Battlefield Labs to excuse their half-assed execution like some studios do with game previews. Season 3 has some stellar content and is opening up the world of Battlefield with meaningful new ways to play like Ranked, Battle Royale solos, and remastered maps, but with a degrading level of polish week after week. But guys, before we jump in, if you like in-depth reviews and discussions about all things Battlefield, drop a like and hit subscribe, and let me know your thoughts about Season 3 below. Right off the bat, we gotta talk Cairo Bazaar, a sorta random map to remaster in my opinion, when maps like Karkand, Scene Crossing, and Karg Island are so ripe for the taking. In general, I really loved the original, and while I'm happy to see it return, the side-by-side comparisons Battlefield has been posting highlights my biggest issue: visual clutter. Now that's not just a Bazaar issue, it's a Battlefield 6 issue, and something that really hurts RedSec in my opinion. However, Bazaar is uniquely terrible. It's affected by the same low-light, hazy sunset filter that Battlefield 5's Merida was, and takes a map that was mostly solid areas of gray concrete and replaces all the structures with overly detailed, noisy, dusty textures, combining to make a map that's so graphically cluttered that the devs finally got around to giving player models backlighting like they had to do in Battlefield 5. Don't get me wrong, the lane structure and players' ability to navigate the battle are great on this map. Most fights are head-to-head, corners are easy to work, vehicles can be avoided, and you always have backup options when it comes to navigation. However, when shit hits the fan, the sun is sitting low, and you're looking into dark corners, the map can become a mess of brown textures. In general, Battlefield 6 suffers from too many noisy textures, particles, debris, and audio effects that make the game hard to understand. And if you want an easy example, pop an assault stim during combat. What's supposed to be a perk ends up giving you unnecessary audio effects and narrows your vision with vignette, for no reason other than style. And Grand Bazaar has the same issue. While they should have stuck with a similar design palette as Siege of Cairo, instead being a smaller map with a higher graphical budget, they jammed in way more textures and dramatic lighting just because they could, and really hurt an environment that could have been a crisp, mid-sized arena-style map. Overall, Cairo Bazaar has a solid layout, but because of the dim lighting and poor visibility, I often find myself playing the edges of the map with ranged weapons feeding on people who are blinded in the hectic center. Perhaps a lighting pass or something can help, but I worry this map is going to get very fatiguing very fast for the player base. But moving on, the next big part of Season 3 that's starting to settle into place is, of course, Ranked. Now, like I said a couple videos back, Ranked came out in an appalling state, and still has many bugs to this day, about a month later.
What the fuck just happened to my screen game?
While the majority of lighting issues have been fixed near downtown, servers are still terrible, matchmaking is slow, and interacting with loot often requires multiple inputs. We all know Battlefield 6 has massive issues with latency and netcode, and 150 millisecond TTKs don't help. But there's few places you could feel it more than in RedSec. Whether it's the stress of 100 players, the size of the map, or number of assets, you constantly feel like your actions are delayed when compared to multiplayer. Even to the point that inputs like double-clicking to slide, or swapping weapons to pick up new loot, is often just delayed enough that the actions I input versus what happens on screen are desynced. On top of that, the current state of the ranking system is rather weak. While the ranks themselves, rewards, and structure are fine, the actual way you earn points is pretty unrefined. While kills, assists, and placement should be the top earning actions, there's no thought to support roles, revives, missions, damage, or what kind of players are in your lobby. Thus, you'll often see bronze players fight against top 250s, and that doesn't affect the value of their RP per match. In general, I like the idea of lobbies with all sorts of players, and the majority of the mechanics. But the ranking system doesn't really factor in how complex Battlefield gameplay is, so this is what I'll suggest. First off, squad wipes earn a bonus across the team. That way, if you're reviving, dropping plates, calling out, or holding an enemy at range, even with no assists, your effort is rewarded as a team. Second, the kill caps absolutely need to go. If my team is too bad to win, but I dropped 15 kills on a ranked lobby, let me get rewarded for outplaying those players. Winning a game and seeing it strip me of over 70 points is insanity, and only there to slow down good players and force them to spend more time grinding. Finally, we have to limit second chances. The time it takes to get from 25 squads to top 15 is ridiculous, and having players respawn mid-fight is so backwards to the idea of an elimination mode. Limit second chances to only the first 3 minutes or so, and make it a team mechanic. If the team wipes on a bad first drop, they get a second chance. This isn't TDM, it's elimination. Players shouldn't count on waiting for revives to come in and save them after their team folded. Early to mid-game BR is really slow, and even if you push to get kills, those kills are taken away if you're too good. The mode tries so hard to force good players to grind while giving mediocre teams respawns mid-fight. It's a mind-boggling double standard on a mode that's already facing technical frustrations and player dissent, as RedSec Elite, the esports version, has yet to return. I'd assume because of all the technical failures we've seen this season. Also, before I move on, if I'm Platinum and getting matched with both top 250 and bronze players at the same time, let's cut the shit and let me invite my low rank friends. Matchmaking is already out the window, so what's it even matter? Now finally, I want to talk about the overall state of the game. As we've all seen, Battlefield has really been going back and forth on a lot of changes and has been struggling with bugs. Like I said at the start, the devs are very much in a state of move fast and break things, and you can see it in the sheer number of updates the Battlefield support Twitter has been making over the past few weeks. While a lot of the smaller additions like the cryo barrel, a larger minimap for aircraft, and better player visibility are great, a lot of stuff like the mortars and discussions around TTK seem to be going back and forth. Meanwhile, fans harshly disagree with increased visual recoil changes. There's been literally hundreds of changes over the past several weeks, and with that has come dozens of bugs some small, some big. And even as someone who plays the game all the time and reads every update, I often lose track of what's broken, what's new, and if the devs even intended it to happen. While the game is going in the right direction, I feel like things including player visibility, recoil, TTK, and so on were supposed to be decided on years ago via internal and Battlefield Labs testing. Instead, we're 9 months into the game, the devs are struggling to make Battlefield Ranked and esports a thing, and in doing so are throwing around wild updates on nearly a monthly basis. And dare we forget that massive rate of fire test they had in the labs that would effectively change the TTK by double-digit margins. I'm really happy to see the game getting new content, and even small stuff like the new weapon attachments are great, but I worry DICE doesn't have the technical ability, nor even a solid idea of how they want the game to play. I wouldn't be surprised if we see more recoil, armor, and TTK changes as Ranked gets expanded. And I'm not sure they'll ever get the game in a technically sound enough place either, substituting content with patch notes when they should be busy working ahead on new ideas. Battlefield 6 Season 3, like always, has some great new stuff, but I'm not sure even this far in, DICE really understands what they want out of the experience. RedSec Elite is a massive failure at this rate, the Battle Royale is trying to be relevant, and even core experiences are seeing bugs and a huge lack of game design philosophy. Battlefield 6 needs a North Star, and they need to clean things up. But guys, drop those comments below and let me know what you think about Season 3 so far. But for anybody who cares, here's a quick update on what's going on with me and the channel. Alright, as you all saw, I took a couple weeks break and dropped a little update in the feed the other day. In short, I've recently been granted a massive opportunity to change my life. For those of you who know, I've been working in New York and New Jersey as an art director since I graduated college, but will now be chasing bigger opportunities across the country. In terms of the channel, that actually means a couple big things. First off, I'll most likely be getting some more space in the form of a bigger apartment or house, which means more space to create content, stream, and so on. Second, I'd been working at startups my entire life, which included a lot of overtime and weekends. From what I can tell so far, this change will give me back a lot of that time. And finally, this means I'll be moving across the country, which might take a few weeks over the summer. I'd rather not say exactly where I'll be going because as an art director in sports, I'm sure many of you will know this organization, but I'll be sure to post some photos of the new setup and make content when I can. So guys, thanks for sticking around, and I'll be back with Battlefield and FPS content soon, and as always, thank you guys for watching.